Coach?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to On The Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. Today, we got Big O.
You already know what it is.
And our man of the hour, special guest, head coach and athletic director from Petrolia Pirates.
That's right.
Coach Brad Blassingame.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
You hear all them fans?
Yeah.
Settle down out there.
Yeah.
Settle down. No. So we'll just jump right into it. This is our second year for our preview. You came last year.
I did.
We appreciate you coming again this year.
I appreciate you guys.
Let's start talking about football, but first.
You had made up a new word. That's
But first.
yeah, it's clever.
But first.
That's how it starts. Then it catches on.
But first. It's like BEFR. Anyway, sorry. Let's learn about Coach Blassingame, maybe a little bit about your yourself, your family, and then your coaching career and how you ended up in Petrolia.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in Olney, Texas. Old Olney Cub alumni. Went to school at Tarleton for a little bit. Then finished at Midwestern. My wife, Kristen, is an RN at the hospital, case manager, and she carries the load most of the year. And then I got two daughters. One will be a freshman this year. She starts volleyball two-a-days tomorrow, so that's a whole new world we're venturing into there. And I got my youngest daughter, Macy. She just turned 11, so it's a full girl household, just living the life with three women. So as wild as pleasuring as that can be, it's they keep me on my toes. So I started off my career in Petrolia. I taught there and coached there for 5 years with Byron Gravitt and Heath Aldrich and Derek Erskine and all those guys. Coached together with them, and then after 5 years there, I went to Holiday for 7 years, and I worked for Frank Johnson and got to work with Kyle Tucker, and then I worked with Coach Atwood for 1 year there, and ended up getting the Petrolia job and been back there. So
Awesome. Yeah. So you've been right here. A
Yeah.
lot of coaches we get have been all around Texas.
Yeah. No, I've been 20 minutes one way or the other here.
Yeah.
For quite a while,
that's actually could be helpful in a lot of reasons.
Sure.
So, but as you know, football's king in the state of Texas. We're getting really, really close. Football will be here before you blink an eye. And this is our preview, On The Sideline preview. Of course, you got the news channels and you got the newspapers and the magazines who think they know what Petrolia football is going to be like this year. But we go straight to the source, and nobody knows better than the head coach himself. So, again, appreciate you coming out.
Yep.
And let's start with some questions. You got anything,
So, of course, last year was your first year in Petrolia. I was kind of excited for you when I found out you got the job.
Thank you.
Just knowing that you were going to bring a different type of culture, especially with you coming from Holiday, a winning tradition. I knew that if you could get those kids to buy into some of those ideas, that you guys would have a pretty good season. So let's talk a little bit about last year's football season. Let's talk about how it went, and then we'll move into the next part.
Yeah, overall, I was happy with it. I think there are obviously some things looking back you think that you can do better. Especially me being a first-year head coach, first-year athletic director. There's tons of things that that we're going to look at a little differently this year and have a different plan. Overall, I thought we had a successful season. It started off rough after game one against Era. It was just kind of a kick in the face of, okay, we didn't have the kids where we should have had them, but now we know what we need to do to get ready from there on. And then the rest of our pre-district schedule went well. We won some games in a row and got on a winning streak there, and that really helped with the kids and buying in. Kind of hit a road bump in the middle. Lost a close game against Haskell that could have gone either way. We couldn't pick up a scoop and score, and then we just ran out of time going into the red zone. There at the end, it ended up losing by 3. And then we kind of had to throw everything out the window when we got to Electra, our second game of district. Our starting quarterback got hurt couple weeks before, hurt his ACL. And then our backup quarterback, we found out on Wednesday before we played a lecture that he had broken his hand.
Oh, man.
And so we ended up starting with 1
man.
hour of practice, our freshman JV quarterback that next game, and it went about how you would think it would go. But after that, I mean, the kids really rallied together and played well for the rest of the year and ended up finding a way into the playoffs. Faced a really good team in Wellington that first round. But overall, we were happy. We were glad that we saw some success and we were taking the right steps to get to where we want to go. But at the same time, it kind of left us more hungry for this year to say, hey, like, you know, showing the kids, hey, like, you can win. You are capable of doing that. It's very possible, and you're on the right track to doing that. So super excited for this year to carry over from what we built last year to head into this year. So
Yeah, and so what was your overall record?
overall, we were 5-6.
5-6, not too bad. Made it to the playoffs.
Yep.
First round exit. Wellington was a good team. Besides wins and losses, what do you think? You kind of touched on it there, but what do you think was your biggest success as a football team last year?
Our biggest success, I kind of hit on it, was the kids believing that they could succeed, that they weren't just meant to be the bottom of the barrel of the district forever. That, hey, there are things that we can do, the way that we play, the style that we play, the way we show up for each other can lead to success, and that you're capable of that. And so we got a glimpse of that last year as far as the kids seeing that, they buying in and seeing that, hey, we are capable of that. And so having that mindset kind of going into this season, I think is going to be a huge success for us.
So you guys did make playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Before last year's playoff berth, when was the last time that Petrolia had been to the playoffs?
I think it was when Coach McLemore was the head coach. So it would have been 3 or 4 years. I think it was when, and I could be wrong on this. I want to say it was when Coach West's son was the quarterback, but Coach West wasn't the head coach yet, if I remember correctly. So it would have been 2022, I think.
Okay.
2021.
So it had been a little bit before they had previously been in the playoffs. So I've been part of a program like that, that class that gives that first opportunity back. And we had an opportunity. My brother's actually his senior year, first year in a while that we ever made playoffs. And then after that, it was just state. It was just became a triple effect,
right,
because those classes that comes after, they don't want to be the group to mess up the new thing. So I think, like you said, going into this year, you guys should have something to lean on. So let's talk a little bit about this coming up year. But let's talk about what pieces you guys lost and what you guys have coming back.
Sure. Yeah, we lost some really good players. We did. We had some senior guys that were huge contributors that we relied on, like Ramsey Hensley. We talked about Rasty McNasty last year. That had huge numbers. Tegan Swinson, Brady Wood, who was a 4-year starter at center on the O-line, that we really leaned on, that we don't have now. But I think for us, even losing those guys, we have some guys behind them that got a lot of playing time last year. Even with those guys there, and it being year 2 in our system, I think even losing that talent, I think we're still ahead of where we were just because of that fact. And so we do return. I think we return 7 starters on offense and 8 starters on defense.
That's pretty good.
So it is good. We have a couple holes to fill that are important. We got a couple O-line holes that we have to fill. We got a linebacker hole that we have to fill on defense. But other than that, that's just kind of those things that coaches have to do, and we'll find somebody that'll fill those spots and feel that production. So
Yeah, and so your quarterback last year was
our quarterback ended up being a freshman. His name's Cody Cox.
Okay.
He'll be a sophomore this year.
okay, and so obviously he'll be coming back.
Yep.
What about some of those positions you mentioned? Some of those starters that are coming back, and maybe some of the kids that might be moving up from JV. If you could just go over and name a couple of those guys too, if you can.
Sure. Yeah. On our O line, we got 3 returners coming back in Ethan Hawley, Cade Waite, and Rocky G. All that started every game for us last year. So tons of experience coming back in those 3 guys. And then in the backfield, we get, we ended up switching to the wing T after the electric game halfway through district last year, and it really led to a lot of success for us. And so, getting our starting wing back, Hayden Pearson. We got our starting tailback back in Brody Jackson, who was the Dave Campbell's preseason defensive MVP or whatever, pre-district or preseason. And then Kaysen G at fullback, who didn't start. Tegan Swinson started last year, but Kaysen got a lot of carries. He got a lot of time because Kaysen and Tegan both played both ways. And so they split a lot of that time at fullback, and they both were my starting inside linebackers on offense. On the outside, we got both of our receivers coming back with Sawyer Dunn and Grayson Elledge, who are super quick, shifty guys that we're going to try to find a way to get them the ball more this year, just to get them out in space and try to improve there. So defensively, losing Ramsey and Tegan is a huge hit. But we do have John Dagnes, who started at safety for us last year, but we're gonna try to move him down to outside backer and try to make up some of that production. And then all the guys that I just mentioned will be there too, with the addition of Christopher Valance, who was our starting defensive tackle last year. And so I think with that experience coming back, with all those kids who've played in our system for a year now, I think that'll lead to some success for us.
So who were your corners last year?
Our corners, the same 2 guys I just mentioned at receiver, Sawyer Dunn and Grayson Elledge.
Yeah, Grayson definitely. I remember keeping up with him a little bit. He plays pretty good. Good ball awareness type kid.
Yeah, they're great.
And he doesn't mind coming up
both
tackling.
ball hawks. They don't mind coming up and tackling. I think they both had 5 or 6 interceptions apiece last year, and so having those guys on the corners, because we mix up a lot of coverage and we disguise a lot of stuff. So having that experience back at 3 of those 4 secondary spots that started every game for us last year on defense, is going to pay off a ton, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. I mean, anytime you can return 8 guys.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the,
I mean, do the math real quick. That's only 3 guys left.
I mean, especially in a Blassingame style defense, having great corners.
Yeah,
gives
it helps.
Gives him an opportunity to do a lot of the stuff
Anytime
that he likes to do.
we can take help away from out there and be okay and trust those guys to be on an island and they can handle it. Man, then let's dial up the pressure and let's go and see what happens. So
that's
for sure.
That's huge. I mean, and then you said 7 starters on the offense, so including all your skill players? Or
all but one. But the one is he played a ton last year. So Case.
So that's pretty awesome. Let's obviously your pre-district schedule is the same as last year, but we'll go ahead and just, if you would, go back over that. So go over the games pre-district and then go right into your district and see.
Sure, yeah, and our schedule this year is obviously the same as last year, but I think literally half of the teams on our schedule have new coaches this year.
So we were just talking about
it's going to be different. So we start off with Era. I talked a little bit about it before. We got over there, and Era just punched us in the mouth, and we saw that, and it 100% on me, that we didn't have the guys where we needed them to be successful, and so we immediately got back home and we started back on that Monday, as far as not even necessarily focusing on football, but focusing on,
we'll call that first
all
head
the other
coach
things,
game
right?
chairs.
Yeah, and so 100%. And so they come to our place this year. Coach Mann's done a tremendous job with those guys. They're way more competitive than they have been in the past few years. We played them in 7-on-7 this summer, and they have great skill kids. So I think that'll be a big matchup for us to start the season, and that'll be if we can find a way to pull that one out. I think that would be a huge start for us. And then from there we go to Olney. Coach Tucker at Holiday, he likes to call it the Blassingame Bowl because I'm from Olney and I've coached at Petrolia for so long. So we go there, new coach, Coach Altmiller. Coach Altmiller was a little older than me, but I know him. I know the family. It's a great family.
He's from Olney.
I think he's going to do a fantastic job. I know he's worked with Coach Slater forever, and Coach Slater does a fantastic job. And so I think those guys will be ready, and it'll be a little different Olney team than what we're used to seeing. And then from there we go. We have Quanah coming to us. And the thing with Quanah is and I know Coach Ritchie talked about it before the other day, is, the wishbone triple option stuff. It's, they may not have the athletes that other teams have, but just that scheme that nobody sees anymore, and having to teach kids that early in the season how to play the option can be difficult. And so, having to change up kind of what we do a little bit on that week when Quanah comes to us. And then we have Chico in Chico. Last year they had a couple bruisers. The quarterback and their tailback were huge, and they pounded us. I don't think they're there anymore. So that, and that could be an interesting game there too. But hopefully, Coach Ritchie talked about it before too. Is I think those are perfect games. Seeing different schemes. We'll see some spread. We'll see some wishbone. We'll see some double tight stuff, some tackle over stuff that Air ran against us last year. By the time we get to district, we're going to have seen just about everything.
All of it.
Yeah.
So
the difficult part is, like you said, facing Quanah after playing these others, the styles of play that, and then trying to undo. I hate to say undo, but you're preparing for Quanah to prepare for Quanah.
Right.
I mean, you might run into something similar to that later on down, but that's kind of like a game time week.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
a different week.
And then you're scratching it. You're like, hey, we're going back to what we do.
Yeah. It's
so
different.
it's
Good job that week.
Tough.
Let's go back.
yeah, it's hard, but those are the things. But I think those type of games build toughness.
Sure.
Because it's going to be kind of a smash mouth type.
It will be. It will be.
Game. So it definitely gets you ready for that type of toughness, and you kind of learn how to protect the run a little bit better, because you're gonna. Your linebackers get it the best. I always tell everybody, when you play a team, that the discipline for your linebackers is spot on, especially preparing them for the season of reading cues and different things. So I think it'd be good for your linebackers.
I do too.
So of course last year you kind of went non-district. You guys ended up going 4-1. I mean 3-1.
3-1. Yep.
Well, because y'all have a longer district. So going 3-1 before you get ready to start district play. So let's talk about district play with your first matchup of the season being against Haskell.
Yeah, first one's against Haskell. Again, new head coach. So last year it was a super close game. They had a fantastic quarterback that will be back this year. I think he was just a sophomore last year, that we had a hard time stopping and getting him to the ground. We ended up losing that one by 3. Close game that could have gone either way. But them having that quarterback back, I think, is huge. And it's just kind of one of those, they have great athletes. It's just kind of, we have to wait and see what scheme they're running and how we match up to that. So, and that for me is a huge game. It may be the biggest game of the year for us, of being able to start the way our district is set up. As far as everybody being so close, I think being able to win that first district game, no matter who you're playing, will be huge this year. So that'll be
like a must win.
Yeah, it's an early game, but it's one
a lot
that
of weight.
we're really wanting to win every game, obviously. But it's one of those that we have circled that we really need to start district off with a win against Haskell. So.
Okay, then you follow it up. You guys, Electra comes to you guys this year, correct?
Electra comes to us. Yep. Again, new head coach, and so seeing what they're in. Last year they ran the straight T, and a lot of it was smash mouth, and like I said, we changed offenses after that week. Started a freshman quarterback that game, and so we had a little trouble moving the ball. I know they lost some key pieces, but. Coach Ritchie will have those guys rolling over there.
They're changing offense too.
Yeah, and so again, it'll be
that's a preview. That's
a lot of these. I wish I could tell you better, but I won't know until we get in and get a little film on these guys to see what all they're exactly running. But Electra always has some athletes that'll be able to compete, and so we're hoping that being in our smash mouth stuff. Will help us in that game.
Balance it a little bit, not just let them be giving out the punishment,
right?
Giving it back. Because what I think a lot of times in football, what people don't understand is if you're playing against a team that's smash mouth and you're not smashing them back, their kids are a little more fresh because your kids are having to endure, endure. But you want to be able to give that lick back to kind of wear them down just as much. So kind of change the concept a little bit.
It does, and it really changes our team mindset as a whole, because being smash mouth on offense, now when we go to defense, it's kind of the same mentality. Yeah. And so there's no flipping back and forth of finesse to smash mouth. It really helps us be physical on both sides of the ball running the type of offense that we do. So
yes, for sure. And then you guys have Seymour, and they're coming to you guys. Are you going to them?
We'll go to Seymour.
Okay.
We'll go to Seymour again. New coach. I've known Coach.
This is funny.
I've known Coach Rivers for a long time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a toss up. It's a toss up, and so
that makes it tough on you as a coach. Like you said, you don't have no film.
And it's going. You normally feel pretty comfortable going. Somewhat comfortable as you can as a teaching and coaching 15 and 16-year-olds, and your job depends on it. But normally you have a pretty good idea. Yeah, they're returning these people. I think, I like our chances against them next year. And this year it's just, you just toss it up because you don't know. You don't know what they're going to be in or what they're going to be running or how they're going to have stuff going. And so I know that was a huge win for us last year to be able to beat them. I mean, it's what got us into the playoffs, is being able to max out on points. Last year against them, and this year going to their place, it's going to be a tough game. Our entire district. There's not going to be any week to where we can just not show up and be okay. And so I think it'll be just another tough one for us. So
then you guys close out the season with Monday, Archer, and Windthorst. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Monday comes to our place this year. Just talked to Coach Langston yesterday. And they have more kids out for football than they've had in a long time, which is great. And when those things happen and you're able to put a scout team out there during practice, and it just leads to so much improvement rapidly.
I think he said 22 this year or something like that. We went from 19 to 22 or something.
Yeah, I think he's going to have, I think he said he would have close to
close to 40.
Yeah,
22 on varsity.
Yeah, 22 on varsity.
17 or
and so that's huge at a school our size, to when you can structure practice a little differently, and you're not. You can, and so again, just they'll have great skill kids. They were a little undersized last year up front. But when you have skill kids like Monday has, I mean, anyone can go to the house. And so it's just stuff that, you have to be ready, or else they're a team that can beat you.
Yeah, then you have Archer City. You guys have Archer City.
Yep, we go to Archer. It was kind of the same deal as when we played Haskell last year. Landon Smith was just such a phenomenal athlete, and Coach Ritchie does such a phenomenal job of moving people around and trying to get you unbalanced. And so for us, we spent all week on making sure our numbers were good and we're lined up, and then we did a fantastic job of it. We had a great practice week, and we did perfect in the game as far as getting adjusted and being where we need to be. And then Landon Smith breaks it for 70 yards.
Yeah,
and then,
he was the X factor.
He was the X factor. And so I think it'll be another competitive game for us. I think us having, for all of these games, I think us having the experience now that we have in our offense, like I said, we ran it for half the season last year, but we've been able to work on it all off season. We've been able to work on it this summer. And it wasn't a huge change from what we were doing as far as blocking schemes and things like that. But I think Coach Ritchie will have them ready. He'll have some sort of scheme lined up to where it'll be different from anything we've ever seen. And I'm sure we'll have to call a timeout at some point in the first half to reset and break out the whiteboard and see if we can come away with that one too.
Yeah. So you close out district play with Windthorst. You guys get Windthorst in Petrolia this year.
We do.
Last year you guys had an amazing game against Windthorst. Could have won anyway. So let's talk about that matchup this year.
Yeah, Windthorst, Coach Tackett may be the luckiest person I've ever met in my entire life, but he deserves it all because he's been there since I think him and Noah invented the forward pass when they were loading animals on the ark. I mean, it was he's been there for so long, and he's established
29.
He's
29 years.
Yeah. He's established it there, and it's a well-oiled machine to where they're going to be successful year in and year out, and it's be no different this year, getting as many players back as he's getting. Playing them last, hopefully we're playing them for a district championship in that last week. I know I said that last year, and it was, so many different playoff scenarios that it came down to at the end of last year. Ended up taking the lead with about a minute and a half left and ended up giving that up. But we were right there, and I think, sometimes losses go almost as far as wins. So I think even though we didn't come away with a win in that one, I think for our kids it was kind of like I was saying earlier, like, hey, we can compete. We deserve to win. It's not a foregone conclusion. And so that will be a super tough, like every coach in our district has come in here and said it, we would be lying if Windthorst wasn't a clear-cut favorite, just because they won it last year and they got almost every single kid back, and they have such good playmakers. And so I think it will be it's great for us to play them in the last week, just to get used to playing with something on the line, hopefully, and then getting ready for playoff caliber teams, and preparing for those type of teams there at the end of the season. So
yeah, because like you mentioned, you guys could, I don't want to say, but like in a scenario last year where you were in the playoffs, I feel like even though you lost that game, that helped your team,
right? Yeah.
To be, to shoot into the playoffs. Obviously you run into a team like Wellington, but that's luck of the draw sometimes. But
sure.
Yeah, I feel like that game, even though it was a loss, was a huge help. Like you said, it's still a win within its own right.
So I think personally this district is revamped. It's back to how it used to be. It's very, very competitive.
It is
from top to bottom. We talked to Coach Langston at Monday. I remember last year him coming on the show, and we were just, as the season was going, I was like, man, this dude kind of predicted. This is kind of how the season was going to go. And then Electra came out of nowhere, just hair on fire, So this district is, I think it's now, because what happens in district play is what I've learned over the years is players, when it's like this, it means more to them. Nobody wants to, I hate to say it, but there's districts where you have weeks where you be like, I don't even want to get on the bus for this team. It's kind of, you hate to say pointless because you got to play the game. But you have those districts that have those type of games. But this is a district that if you show up playing around, you can leave there. Somebody put 50 or 60 on you, and you're wondering what happened.
And the way it went last year, as far as everybody beating everybody else, that 1 week in week 6, that could cost you. If you if you don't show up to play for every single one of those games, it could be the one that gets you out and has you on the outside looking in.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, we'd probably agree right now at this point, Windthorst is right there at the top until they're taken down. But after that, I mean, it's up for grabs. I mean, you guys, it really depends on who comes and plays and who puts more points on the board. I mean, that sounds like a Madden thing, you know, but
it could very well end up last year. I know some of the other district coaches have talked about it, but I mean, there was a scenario for a 5-way tie for second going into the very last week of the season last year. So, I mean, it's just it'll be that way again this year, I think.
That's crazy. Let's fast forward, or not fast forward, but let's touch on your summer attendance this year. How was your summer attendance in the summer program as a whole?
Yeah, I was pleased with our summer attendance this year. We averaged probably 20 to 25 boys a day, which for us, that's a pretty good number. Our district is very unique in the sense that, and I think I hit on it last year of you know, we have Petrolia. Petrolia itself is tiny. I mean, it's the one stoplight. Our district is made up of 4 communities that are just like that. And so a lot of our kids might live 20 minutes from the school and they're still in our school district, you know. So we do it early in the morning to try to get those kids there and to figure out rides and things like that. But it is such a working community that, you know, 7/10 of our kids have full-time jobs in the summer. They're putting on roofs, or they're digging ditches, or they're helping their dad's plumbing business, or stuff like that. And so we understand that. So to have the numbers that we had this summer and the ones that we had show up, I think was great for us. I was very pleased with it. We spent a ton of time in our off season and this summer on speed and dynamic work and trying to get faster. And I think I'm excited to see that stuff pay off once we start practice and we start getting into the season.
For sure, Coach. So you've been on the show before. We've enjoyed you both times. You already know what time it is. It's time for the big old special. He be hating on me, but even though he's a hater, I was able to have I had a group that wanted to sponsor me. So Our Park Green and White Club are officially my sponsor. So shout out to them. You know, I prayed hard for that. And God answered prayers, you know. So I've kind of been doing it a little bit different this year, kind of changing it up with the coaches as kind of I look back on, you know, the episodes and different things and kind of switch it up a little bit. So the first part of the question for you is you're currently in P-Town in Petrolia. I know for a fact they have great concession stand food. Have you had the chance to try some of the concession stand food? If so, what's your favorite thing that they have out there?
Yeah, we have a lot of times it's Zach Bennett will do a lot of the cooking for us there. And he does a fantastic job of preparing all that stuff. And our booster club ladies, Skyla Barger and Cami Maxwell and Ricka Pack and Courtney Gooden, they are so good to us coaches. They try to make sure that before they sell out, they put a little bit back for us, or they make sure that we get some of that stuff too. And so some of the best ladies that you could have running a booster club for us. So yeah, Zach does a tremendous job. I want to say my favorite this past year was pulled pork nachos that they had out there with throw a little pico on top of them, and man, those things.
I'm pulling up a message between me and Coach Zach because that's my guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find it, but he had a burger. He called me about this, Zach. I hope you're paying attention to it. It was like I want to say it was a hamburger patty, pulled pork, and something else he said he put on that thing. He was like, "You got to come try this." He's like, "I just put this on the menu," and I was like, "Zach, if I eat that, I ain't making it back from Petrolia. I'm gonna be somewhere asleep." So I know they like to try to grill out and do different things and stuff like that. So outside of the concession, which I know it's not much, but what's one of the mom and pop shops that you might eat at in Petrolia?
Yeah, in Petrolia, there's you got 2 different options. Holy Free Holies is always delicious. Everything on the menu is going to be A+. You go in there and get you a pirate burger. It's a cheeseburger, and they grill a piece of ham and they put it on there, and it's amazing. The quesadillas there, burritos. They do breakfast too. You can go get you a big old breakfast burrito, and you could probably be set until the next day because they're so big. And then our other option is a little something called Hunt's Brothers Pizza that we have. You go into the corner store there, Petrolia Grocery, and get you a hunk of pizza and a bag of jalapeno kettle cooked chips, and you can't go wrong there.
Say that Hunt's Pizza, I don't care where it's at. It's
good.
It's amazing because we have a place in there's a couple places in Wichita that have them in their little convenience stores. The first time I ever tried it, I was like, "There's no way this is gas station pizza," because it's good. It's kind of have a freshness to it. So Hunt's Pizza is good. Shout out to them. Maybe they'll be my next sponsor. You never know.
I think I'd rather have the Holy Free Holies.
I'm gonna get them
that pirate burger.
Yeah, with that fried ham on it.
Yeah, and I'll take this chance. I'll take this chance to go ahead and give a shout out to. We have a group of parents that cook for us on game days too, and it's amazing. They'll pull up at about 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll pull their smoker up next to the field house right there, and they'll go ahead and start cooking for lunch that day. So I get to sit there in my office and smell it all day, and so some of those parents, Mr. Hawley especially, and Mr. Mitchum that take care of us and take care of our kids. And I mean, it's usually, it might be some grilled chicken with cheesy green beans and baked potatoes. Or,
they getting them good.
So you just don't get that stuff in big towns, man.
Nah,
that's a small town.
Right.
Texas.
You know what you're gonna get in a big town? A Jason Deli sandwich.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no good food like that.
That's crazy. One thing we did.
Wait.
Oh man. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Keep going.
Hey,
I forgot. I thought you were done. Come on.
This is a paid subscription now, bro.
My bad.
All right, so we got you there. We got some stuff that you like in Petrolia. We always got to go back in time. So what was a spot that you like to eat while you were in Holiday?
Holiday, it's RT's.
Okay.
It's every day, and it's our game day meal. And every day or every game day on a Friday, we were going to go to RT's and get fried fish.
I just wanted to make sure RT still got that good fish.
It was still there. Now I haven't been there in a while.
And they fried just right.
But that's there you go on Mondays and you could get a hamburger steak, and then Tuesdays they had pork chops, and you could count on it, and it was chicken spaghetti on Wednesdays, and so it didn't matter what they were serving in there. Those ladies would do it upright. So.
You think their pork chops were made in a crock pot?
No.
Yeah, he's seen that episode. He knows where you messed up at. It was good and fried.
It was good and fried.
All right, so I have 3 parts left. So I'm going to close it out with
5-part?
It's a buffet now. We're giving out real meals now. This is a full course meal, So I'm going to save the last 2 questions for last, but this is for Coach Frank. What's your favorite thing? Because he can cook. What's your favorite thing that Coach Johnson makes?
Frank, as long as Frank's cooked it, it's going to be delicious. But my favorite thing that he cooks is probably his armadillo eggs that are amazing. But
I had somebody bring me some before. He has like a little food truck that he does.
But you can't get anything of Frank's without a side of Miss Tammy's hot sauce. You got to have some of Miss Tammy's hot sauce.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be Mexican food, but it's.
I've heard him talk about it because I know the running joke is whose hot sauce is better, Coach Belcher's wife or Coach Johnson's wife. Yeah. They both make really, really good hot sauce out in Winthor. So maybe we need to have a taste test. We have both of them.
That's a great idea. I volunteer to be a judge. You just let me know.
Both of them bring the hot
chili
sauce.
cook-off we was talking about.
Yeah. So the last 2 parts of it is of course I've been showing some respect to the wives this year. What's one of the dishes that your wife make that you enjoy?
She can make quite a few things, and I'm very, very easy to please. And so, and for me, coming home, I am a sucker for just a huge plate of cheap spaghetti.
He said cheap.
Cheap spaghetti. I'm talking pack of noodles, boil up some regular spaghetti noodles. I'm talking just fry up some ground beef, and I'm talking the $1 can of Hunt's tomato. Yeah, not even ragu. That's a little too fancy for me. I just like the canned Hunt's, old school,
Straight
and then
tomato sauce.
the $5 garlic and cheese bread from Great Value Walmart. I mean, that was
simple.
That's good.
It's
Good
simple,
and
easy.
quick. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So if you were making something, and if we were to poll your wife, what would be the dish that she say that she enjoys that you make?
100% it would be fajitas from the smoker. It would be chicken and beef fajitas.
Okay, so you smoke the chicken and the beef fajitas?
Yep.
That sounds good. So
Now, if Frank's listening, Frank, I'm sorry. He'll say that I'm cheating because I do it on a pit boss, and so to Frank, that's an easy bake oven, and that doesn't count the same as smoking it. You gotta, but I don't care. It tastes just as good. It's fine with me.
So he's old school. He loves to burn on the stick burners and things like that. I kind of watch it. Him and Rudy and them have a show that they do,
Right? Yeah.
where they actually give the people come on their show barbecue and stuff. So I always love watching that just to see what he makes and things like that. But I will say he's probably I don't consider it cheating, Coach. It's called working smarter.
I agree.
Not harder.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? They made it for a reason. So I appreciate you, like I said, being on the show. That's normally how I close it out. I love to give everybody a little food for their soul. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Big O Special today.
Yeah, and I got just a couple more well, you answered one of them. One question I ask everybody is, do you have a game circled on your schedule this year? And you said the Haskell game, which is the opening game of the district because it's so pivotal.
Right.
It's an important game for you and your team, and so we'll move past that one. The last question I got is, what was it, or the story? What's the story behind, or someone that influenced you growing up that made Coach Brad Blassingame who he is?
I would say, when I was in junior high in Olney, Texas, we had a whole group of coaches that I really enjoyed being around. We had a good team then as far as the varsity goes, and I was just a little, if you knew me in junior high, I was tiny. And so that set of coaches that was Kent Jackson, Coach Hartman, Coach Chumley, Coach Willis, a lot of those guys that were there then, being able to let me be around it and be a manager for those groups and see that success and see how they did it, it just really caused me to fall in love with the game and see how much influence they had on those guys that I idolized. And so that really influenced me to want to become a coach and try to stay around this stuff and try to influence kids positively, just like they did. So
very good. That's always it's always different, to hear stories, but almost every time it comes back to being a positive influence for kids.
Right.
Like that's one of the biggest things, and that's a calling people don't realize. Most of these coaches out here aren't living luxurious lives and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, and so it really does take a special person to get that calling, and to do that and to serve as a coach for kids. It's just a special thing to be called a coach. But I think that's going to end us for today. We could probably talk football all day, but be respectful of your time. You have anything else for us?
No, I don't. I appreciate you guys having us on here and getting these kids exposure and getting their names out there. We appreciate what y'all do and the time that y'all put in for that. And I mean, every week, I know y'all have full-time jobs on top of this. And so us as coaches, we really appreciate that. So,
well, thank you for the kind words. And we're ready for football. We wish you the best of luck this year. If you need anything from us, you let us know.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
y'all.
Coach.